I'm Norman Askins. I'm an architect and architectural historian based here in Atlanta. I wanted to welcome you to the ICAA Classical City Guide. What better way to start than in this historic downtown region, the thriving commercial hub of the city? Let's start with Atlanta's oldest standing skyscraper. Built in 1897, the original called the English-American Building. These days it's known as the Flatiron Building. Interestingly, it predates New York's Flatiron Building by 4 years. This 11-story skyscraper is certainly an icon. A few blocks south takes us to 35 Broad Street and the first of many buildings by Philip Trammell Schuetze. Built in 1901, the original building was designed by Thomas Henry Morgan. However, it was the renovation undertaken by Schuetze in 1929 that elevated this building to a true masterpiece. He stripped the base of the building back to the steel frame and completely redesigned the lower 3 levels. In the Corning arched bays and bold rustication, one can clearly see how Schuetze was inspired by the Italian mannerism. If we travel a few blocks south, we come across a building that is strikingly different but no less handsome, the Martin Luther King Jr. Federal Building and Post Office Annex. Built during the worst years of the Depression, this megalithic structure, designed by local architect A. Eck Brown, is an excellent example of minimal classicism. As with any classical building, there's always something for the eye to discover. As one approaches the building, beautiful carvings reveal themselves. Of course, not everything needs to be quite so monumental in scale. The more modestly sized Carnegie Education Pavilion in downtown Hardy Ivy Park. This marble Beaux-Arts monument was constructed from the exterior of Atlanta's first truly public library, the Carnegie Library. Thankfully, the old library's architecture base were preserved following the building's demolition, and 20 years later, they were repurposed by architect Henry Hover to create this pavilion. A little west of downtown takes us to a prime example of an affluent early 20th century Atlanta dwelling, the Herndon Home. This home is both architecturally and historically extraordinary. Its owner, Alonzo Herndon, was born into slavery and went on to become Atlanta's wealthiest black citizen, due entirely to his hard work and entrepreneurial spirit. With his wife, Adrienne McNeil Herndon, who was an actress in Boston, he built a fine home fitting for a couple of their status in the early 20th century. Remarkably, rather than turning to a fashionable architect at the time, the home is thought to be designed by Adrienne herself, with Alonzo acting as general contractor and construction performed exclusively by African-American craftsmen. The result is a fine revival home adorned with the Corinthian columns and featuring stunning Rococo interiors. As we conclude this video, I want to stress that this is by no means a definitive list of all the great buildings in Atlanta. Many more are lurking out there for you to discover on your own.